Good afternoon, everybody, from a swelteringly hot Israel. Boy, are we all melting as the temperatures reach into the 40s. Now, we use Celsius, so guys, I have no idea what it is in Fahrenheit. So, those who use the Fahrenheit system, please let me know what 40 degrees is in your country. Anyway, if you're new to it, don't mind me waffling on about the weather. This is the Israel Brief. I'm Rolene Marks, where you join me and my incredible community from all around the world, from Brisbane, Australia, to South Africa, to the Highlands of Scotland, to Trinidad and Tobago, to Ghana, to the US, South Africa, and everywhere in between. And we take a look at those top stories making the headlines. And because we are community here, we are so much more than just a news site. We are community. I like to take your questions if you have any questions, and believe me, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Hey, I was even asked about my nail polish color, which I'm quite happy to reveal. And of course, every Thursday I announce your mentions or your mensch and your moron of the week. So if you don't understand what a mensch is, no problema. I'm here to explain it to you. A mensch is basically a good person, like who gets your vote of the week for like really great person. And of course your morons. And let's see who makes the list this week. In the meantime, it is day 677 since the 7th of October. We are closing in on day 680. And as August marches on, we are also closing in on the 2-year anniversary of the 7th of October. We can't forget that on that day, along with murdering, burning, committing mass acts of sexual violence, and slaughtering over 1,200, Hamas took over 250 innocent people hostage, of which they still hold 50, and we want them all home now without exception. Now, just a warning about today's broadcast. I will be discussing a news item that is of a sexual nature. It is not for sensitive viewers, so if you are easily distressed, please note that this will be coming up a little later in the show. So let's take a look at those headlines. And oy vey, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, not a good look, dude, not a good look. Hamas have praised Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese for what they call his political courage, for saying that he will recognize, or his country will recognize, a Palestinian state at the UNGA next month. Now, Australia joins countries like France, Canada, the United Kingdom, who have said they intend to do the same. Of course, none of these world leaders give the practicalities, what it will look like, where it will be, what the borders, etc., etc. But it's not a good look if you are congratulated by a terrorist organization that is recognized as such in your country. Now, when the Prime Minister made his announcement, he was accused of possibly rewarding Hamas. And he said, nonsense, this is the opposite of what Hamas wants. Well, orcs, dude, because now they're praising you. How are you going to explain that? And Aussies out there, I would be interested to know if you back your Prime Minister's decision to recognize a Palestinian state, which in practicality will have absolutely no effect on anything on the ground. Meanwhile, New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has said that Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost the plot. This is in regards to the Prime Minister's announcement last week that Israel will occupy, albeit temporary, the last 25% of the Gaza Strip that we currently don't hold. Now, whether you like Prime Minister Netanyahu or you don't like him, whatever your position is on the war, The Prime Minister has explained this at great length, that this is very temporary. This is what the 5 war aims are. And if you want to know what those war aims are, please listen to Monday's show. And that the intention is to free Gaza of Hamas and hand over the governance of Hamas to a civilian authority. I'm actually at the stage where I don't know if embassies here don't speak to their foreign ministries, or if world leaders just ignore all the evidence that has been put forward with regards to the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Remember last week, guys, I took you into the Gaza side of Kerem Shalom, and you saw the mountains of waste sitting there waiting for a collection. I don't know if they don't listen to war experts like Major John Spencer and Major Andrew Fox and Colonel Richard Kemp, who have gone into Gaza numerous times and have brought you the fact, or their ally, the United States, whose ambassador has spoken on many media outlets lately explaining the situation in great detail. I don't know, it's either that or they choose not to hear it, and they're pursuing a more nefarious kind of campaign, and that worries me tremendously. Last night, the mothers of 4 hostages that are still believed to be alive and held by Hamas in the Gaza Strip met with the president of the International Red Cross at her office in Geneva, Switzerland. Now, if you recall, Israel has asked the Red Cross to please put the pressure on Hamas to at least feed our hostages. Of course, we want them all released immediately. But Israel, both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Herzog, have beseeched, have pled with the Red Cross, please, to ensure that our hostages get medical intervention and get food. We saw from those horrendous videos released by Hamas the conditions that Rom Braslavsky and Eviatar David were held in. There are still other hostages that are alive, and time is of the essence. The head of the medical team for the Hostages and Missing Families Forum, Dr. Chagai Levine, also met with the head of the Red Cross and the president of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, and he said their lives are in mortal danger, and for the hostages that are deceased, we worry that nothing will be left of them. They need to be released immediately. And he handed them a letter which explains in further detail the medical conditions we believe those hostages are facing. You know, we all want an end to this war. It has gone on too long, and the most immediate way to end this horrific war that has put tremendous pressure on civilians in Gaza and on Israelis is to just release the hostages. That's all you have to do, Hamas. Release the hostages. You are prolonging the war, and any state that is abdicating Hamas of any responsibility is prolonging this war. Release the hostages now. Now, warning that this next segment does contain information that is sexual in nature and could be triggering to some people. So if you want to fast forward and get to the next story, just know that this is content of a sensitive sexual nature. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has announced that he intends to add Hamas to the blacklist of organizations and countries that use sexual violence as a tool of war. Now, this follows the presentation of the DINA Project report that was released last month. I did a segment on that last month as well, that explains in detail the use of sexual violence on the 7th of October and also against hostages held captive. It goes into extreme detail of eyewitness reports and what they saw. including incidents of mass rape and torture. Now, this was discussed at a UN Security Council meeting, and the decision has been made to add Hamas to the blacklist. Now, Guterres also cautioned Israel that Israel may be put on the list and referenced the treatment of Palestinian prisoners. Now, there is only one incident that has been dealt with by Israel's justice system at the highest levels, and that was the alleged sodomizing of Hamas operatives in interrogation in one of the prisons. There is only one incident. Meanwhile, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, called these accusations unfounded and absurd. Now, last night, the Prime Minister addressed the people of Iran in a recorded message shared on social media. The Prime Minister, referenced the 12-day war and said to the people of Iran that, this is their opportunity to fight for their freedom. And he also addressed the massive issues that the Iranians face with water and electricity shortages. So I'm going to read to you a bit from his address. He said, "Almost a decade ago, I opened a Telegram channel in Farsi to teach water management to Iranians. 100,000 Iranians joined almost instantly. The thirst for water in Iran is only matched by the thirst for freedom. So here is the great news. The moment your country is free, Israel's top water experts will flood into every Iranian city, bringing cutting-edge technology and know-how. We will help Iran recycle water. We will help Iran desalinate water. What would that look like? Just imagine water skiing again in the Karaj Dam with your families. Imagine walking hand in hand with your partner next to the bountiful river in Farahshad, which is now completely dried up. Imagine the parched trees in Niavaran and Darband getting as much plentiful water as the trees in IRGC strongholds. Imagine restoring the stunning Urmia Lake in the northwest of Iran. Well, all of this is not a dream. This can be your reality." And he goes on to say, "For 46 years you have been denied the most basic of human rights, the right to express yourself freely, to write, speak, and sing what you please." He says, "Such repression, such cruelty. It doesn't have to be this way. I urge you to be bold and brave, to dare to dream, take risks for freedom, for your futures, for your families. It's worth it. Take to the street and demand justice, protest tyranny, build a better future for your families and for all Iranians. You are not alone. I stand with you. Israel stands with you. The entire free world stands with you. The tyrants of Tehran, so cruel, so callous, and so cowardly, they won't last long. You know that. History will record that. And I say to you, if you will it, a free Iran is no dream." It's very clever. He's referencing Theodore Herzl there. "Now is the time for action. Now is the time to fight for freedom. Iran baraye Irani. Iran for Iranians." I mean, that's quite a message. And to the people of Iran who might watch the Israel brief, we have not forgotten you, not for 1 second. The people of Israel stand with the people of Iran. And to the woman of Iran, Zan, Zandagi, Azadi, woman, life, freedom, we have not forgotten you. Please know that. So those are our top stories. Let's take a look at the audience question, and it comes from Piet Bester, who says, "How are the people affected by the attack on the 7th of October handling life nearer to the border now?" Thank you, Piet. Thank you so much for asking that, because the world has forgotten what they have endured. The world has forgotten the 7th of October, and the world forgets that Israelis are living through 2 years of war and wars within those wars, and we are still profoundly traumatized. For the communities in the south, some have gone back. their victory is to rebuild their communities, their kibbutzim, and many will probably never go back. They probably are too traumatized and will never feel completely safe. But there is still massive trauma. We are still, as a country, on the 7th of October, we can't even begin to move forward to heal until all of our hostages are home. The trauma, the loss, the magnitude and the depravity of the attack is beyond what human beings can endure. And for the people of the South, they are still living that reality, that trauma every single day. And it helps so much that there are people like you, Pete, who care so deeply about them, who take the time to ask about them, and who pray for them. And it gives a lot of strength to the people of Israel, especially now when there's so much propaganda and misinformation, and when anti-Semitism is so rampant around the world. And for these people, these communities who endured the unimaginable, the fact that you are asking about them means the world. So bless you, Pete. God bless you, and thank you for this. So thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to join me tomorrow. And if you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, and helping us grow our community. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Lottle's site, on Instagram at Rolene_Marks, on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, on our website at layofftheland.online, right here at the Israel Brief. And guys, God bless you all. Thank you for being my rocks, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.